Kidmissing TV. Today we're going to talk about the case of little Charles Mattson. This is a historic case. Charles disappeared in December of 1936, December 27th to be exact, and unfortunately his little remains were found on January 11th, 1937. Now, I apologize for the poster because the 9s are missing out of both years. Don't know how I did that, so I just wanted to get that out of the way right from the beginning. My poster is messed up and I know it. There's nothing I can do about it. Charles' case was national news. So much so that when his little body was found, the president was involved. Charles was 10 years old. He was taken from Tacoma, Washington. A man was banging on the windows and doors trying to get in the house. His parents were out for the evening. He was home with his 15 and 16-year-old siblings. He finally went to the door. The man asked to come in. He told him no. The next thing that happened was the man bashed the window, reached into the window like you see in movies and television, unlocked the door, and let himself in. He then patted the kid down, looking for money or whatever, and then he asked for money. The kid said, "There's no money in the house," and so he grabbed the kid, Charles, the youngest boy, and said, "You're your father's favorite. I'll take you. They'll pay for you." Huh? And he dropped in the pile of broken glass from where he broke the windows to gain entry a folded up ransom note that looked like it has been in his wallet forever. And this is what the ransom note read. I actually printed out the ransom note. It says, the price is $28,000. 10,000 in 5s and 10s, 18,000, 50 and hundreds. Old bills, please, no new ones. Put an ad in Seattle Times personal column. Read, Mabel, what's your new address? Tim. Put this ad Times, no other paper. If no answer from you within a week, price goes up double and double that each week after. Don't fail and I won't. The boy is safe. Tim. And this was printed in the Seattle Star, by the way. They did this. In fact, they placed 4 different ads. And nothing came of it. The police and the FBI became involved. The family was fairly prominent, I guess, in Tacoma. Like I said, the ransom note, another thing about the ransom note is it wasn't written, it was typed. It was typed, apparently, on a child's typewriter with an odd color. Well, they say an odd color ink, but it would be an odd color ribbon. They didn't say what color. Kind of weird anyway that the guy wrote it on a kid's typewriter. I'm trying to think of what a kid's typewriter would have looked like. A toy typewriter would have looked like in the 30s. I didn't even know they had toy typewriters in the 30s. That's interesting. I'll have to see if I can find a picture of what that might have looked like and post it here if I find it. Because it is interesting. The media went crazy. There had been another case the prior year of another boy that may have been related. We'll get to that in a moment. And the media started printing and putting out everything, even things they weren't supposed to, which is a problem even now, because there was a leak somewhere. And they also printed everything they were told. So there was a mixture of fact and fiction, and it was a disaster, which probably put the child's life at risk even more. Temps were below freezing by January 5th. I mean, Washington is cold, but it's not New England cold. From what I understand, their average temperature is 30s and 40s in the winter. I learned that from somebody from there, actually, a long time ago. So it's not like it is here in New England where I reside, where we can get below zero easily, and routinely below freezing. In the wintertime. It's not unusual for us January 5th to be below freezing. Yeah, probably 20 degrees here. A little more unusual there. The point being, they were worried because if he was left outside, he could have frozen to death fairly quickly. And that made the FBI very concerned. It was starting to snow and they were afraid it was going to be a huge snowstorm. But the FBI was really trying. And not having a whole lot of luck. Anyway, there were 40 agents assigned to the case. One of the reasons this case was so big was because another boy, George H. Hauser, I'm not sure, Hauser. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it. It's Weyerhaeuser. I want to say Weyerhaeuser, but I'm not sure. Was abducted on May 25th, 1935. And they were wondering if it was the same man. As a matter of fact, another prominent family, I believe that lived close to the Mattsons, had a homemade ladder placed up against their house that looked like someone was attempting to get in to take their kid. And they don't think the ransom note was specifically for Charles, although I will say he said, "You're your father's favorite," which is odd to me. How would he know that? Did he assume that because he was the baby? You know? Like I said, they placed like 4 ads. And on January 11th, his body was found in a thicket of what is described as alder. It's a type of tree. Off Edmonds Beverly Road by a 19-year-old rabbit hunter named Gordon Morrow. Morrow. It was a half a mile from Route 99, which is a big route in the area. J. Edgar Hoover sent flowers to the funeral. They say it was a big, beautiful arrangement. I think that's very nice. And President Roosevelt put out a statement about the murder. And I'm about to read you that statement. Okay. President Roosevelt's statement that he put out on January 12th reads, "The murder of the little Mattson boy has shocked the nation. Every means at our command must be enlisted to capture and punish the perpetrator of this ghastly crime. Attorney General Homer Still Cummings informs me that he has offered a $10,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the criminal, and that the special agents of the Federal Bureau of Investigation of the Department of Justice are engaged in a search which will be pursued relentlessly and will not be terminated until the murderer is caught. I bespeak for the agents of the Department of Justice the continued and wholehearted cooperation of the local police and all other law enforcement agents in this necessary work. A crime of this kind is renewed evidence of the need of sustained effort in dealing with criminal menace." Printed in the Seattle Times, January 12, 1937. again. You can see it. So there was a man who was in prison in 1938. He was 32 years old, named Lester Mead, who was using the alias Frank Olson. Was arrested at a farm after confessing to a murder. They got him to make a false confession to this case. The problem being that he wasn't well, and he had delusions of, it turned out he was a patient who had escaped the mental hospital vegetable garden. The doctors at the mental hospital said, look, he's harmless. He just has delusions that he's some criminal mastermind. He just has issues, but he's never hurt anyone. He's just delusional. So, that was a dead end. And, by the way, this case is still an open FBI file. And George Weyerhaeuser was actually released when the ransom was paid. He went on to head his father's company, which was started by his grandfather. He was also questioned about, what he remembered, and in his case, an ad was also placed. He said he was taken by two men. The two men were believed to be Harmon Wally and William, I can't remember him right. Bernard. The two met at the Idaho State Penitentiary. Both men were arrested in that case. So, were there other people that worked with them that maybe took Charles and screwed up in some way? I don't know. It just seems weird that there was another attempt right near Charles, that there was a note had been written a long time before on a children's stinking typewriter, which is really bizarre. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to this, and I know you're thinking it's absolutely crazy, it's still an open FBI file, but, because the killer, chances are, is dead. But the FBI has rules. I think they keep a case open for 100 years, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please, but I thought that's what I recently read, that their investigations stay open for 100 years, until they're sure everyone's dead. Which is why the Alcatraz case is still open. 60 years later. So anyway, thank you for joining me. On Thursday, we will talk about the case of the 1977 Girl Scout murders at Camp Scott, Oklahoma. This is quite the case. It's actually a very sad case, because 3 little girls were murdered at summer camp. That's absolutely insane. Also an ongoing investigation. There is a prime suspect. We will talk about him and so much more. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Remember to get that shot when you can. God bless you. And goodbye.